Come, come on in. Crystal's here, let's begin. No time for that fake stuff. Diamond in the rough, we dive in. Nose wide. Real talk, hit it hard. Opinions raw and real. Crime talk, that's the deal. Crystal's crime conversations. Real talk, no hesitations. Crystal's crime conversations. Fun around raw, all sensations. Come, come on in. Fun and raw, all sensations. Let's go.
I'm a little confused here, guys. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm showing you on the screen. Wait, first, let me say hello. Hey, AS2, Phoebe, Little Dev, A1. Hope you guys are all good. Now, what I'm showing on my screen, I'm going to have to switch over because I'm not reading it. It's too much, and I have 3 of these. Let me show you. We're going to do this one, which I have put into my voice thing right here. Oops, right here. And then we're going to do this one. They're all pretty much the same, but different. This one's from the FBI. And then we're going to do this one first. So this is the newspaper article that came out about this. I'm going to put it, there we go, on this. I'm going to mute, and let's listen.
Greenville-Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson credited a reduction in drug overdose deaths in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County to a massive federal drug trafficking investigation that led to indictments and arrests last July. On Thursday, James Light, 65, of Rogersville, one of the reputed ringleaders of a Beech Creek drug trafficking syndicate, was sentenced in U.S. District Court to 150 months in prison, to be followed by 4 years of supervised release. Light pleaded guilty in December to conspiracy to possess with intent to deliver 500 grams or more of cocaine, and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to deliver oxycodone. Lawson said that following a series of federal drug indictments and arrests in July of 2012, which included Light and 31 other defendants, many of whom were from the Beech Creek area south of Rogersville, the drug overdose rate in Beech Creek has dropped off to almost nothing. Light is the 14th defendant sentenced to federal prison in this drug investigation since February. Charles Thomas Lang, 30, of Rogersville, was sentenced on March 4 to 157 months in prison for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, and money laundering. Lang, a part-time Beech Creek resident, opened the Liberty Wellness Pain Clinic in Norcross, Georgia, in 2010 and began using the clinic to obtain oxycodone for distribution in East Tennessee. In April 2012, the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration in Georgia raided the clinic and shut it down. The investigation was initiated by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Also participating in the 3-year investigation were the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, Greene County Sheriff's Office, 2nd Judicial Drug Task Force, Kingsport Police Department, 3rd Judicial Drug Task Force, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the DEA. Assistant U.S. Attorney Karen L. Hebetz prosecuted the cases. Overall, the investigation netted authorities more than 300 pounds of cocaine, more than 16,000 pounds of marijuana, more than 20,000 oxycodone pills, and $2.5 million in cash. Other federal prison sentences that have resulted from this investigation to date include Michael L. Dykes, 51, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 37 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Lauren L. Lucelle, 32, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 108 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Daniel L. Dykes, 29, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 37 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Christy D. Dykes, 32, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 40 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Christy R. Say, 39, of Greenville, who was sentenced to 57 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Ella Maria Camacho Garcia, 30, of Burlington, NC, who was sentenced to 78 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. She also pleaded guilty to money laundering and received a money judgment in the amount of $815,000. Jonathan L. Light, 24, of Kingsport, who was sentenced to 84 months in prison for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Levi D. Love, 24, of Kingsport, who was sentenced to 37 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Jessica R. Bernard, 23, of Greenville, who was sentenced to 37 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Amanda D. Bernard, 23, of Afton 10, who was sentenced to 37 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Shandita M. Compton, 31, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 63 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. Brock A. Lawson, 26, of Rogersville, who was sentenced to 118 months for conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana.
Okay, so that was the first one. Let me click out so I don't get confused. We're going to go to the next one. Now, this is all the same bust. This one comes from the FBI site. It starts with, because I didn't put this in here, Randall Michael Lawson sentenced to 216 months in prison and lifetime supervision on narcotics, firearms, money laundering, and Social Security fraud convictions. So let me switch back to this. Start at the top.
Greenville, T.N. Randall Michael Lawson, 58, of Limestone, Tennessee, was sentenced on November 6, 2013, to serve 216 months in prison, followed by lifetime of supervised release by the Honorable J. Ronnie Greer, U.S., District Judge. Lawson was also ordered to pay restitution to the Social Security Administration in the amount of $10,784.16, forfeit 2 firearms, and pay a $3 million judgment to the United States. Lawson pleaded guilty in August 2012 to a federal indictment charging him with conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 1,000 kilograms or more of marijuana, conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. conspiracy to commit money laundering, Social Security fraud, and being a felon in possession of firearms. Lawson admitted to conspiring to distribute approximately 14,400 pounds, or 6,545 kilograms, of marijuana and 24 kilograms of cocaine between December.
Yes, Gossip, that's what brought this on. I covered it yesterday. They did it yesterday. We'll go over that again, too, if you guys want. That's what led me into the 313, which is an initiative that's pretty similar, but it starts in Detroit and it comes down through Ohio. It's pretty much all the same connections, just the continuing up. Something they've been working on pretty much since Florida, like I'd say even in Florida, Mexico. Eventually they're going to get it. They got that truckers initiative thing going on now. I think I shared it in my community post yesterday. It's interesting, but that's what brought this conversation on today. And I hope Fred comes in. I seen somebody mention, does Fred know these names? And yes, Fred does. We were talking about it yesterday at the end of my live, and that's why I labeled this. I was supposed to come live last night. However, I was watching cartoons with my grandson cuddled in the bed, and I didn't wake up till 4 a.m. And then I fell back asleep. Let's not talk about it. Okay? So I didn't come live last night. I'm just doing what I was going to do last night tonight. And I'm not exactly all the way prepared. But we got it. We're good. All right. Let's go listen.
December 2002 and December 2010. Additionally, in a related case, Lawson was convicted in North Carolina of possessing 2 firearms after having been convicted of a prior felony offense. As a result of this investigation, several other individuals have been convicted and sentenced for their involvement in the drug conspiracies. On April 25, 2013, Michael L. Dykes, 51, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. Dykes was allowed to remain on bond until reporting to the Bureau of Prisons to serve his sentence. He pleaded guilty in January 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On April 16, 2013, Lornell Lucelle, 32, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 108 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Lucelle pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On April 16, 2013, Daniel L. Dykes, 29, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On April 2, 2013, Christy D. Dykes, 32, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 40 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in November 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On March 21, 2013, Christy R. C. 39, of Greenville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 57 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. C. pleaded guilty in September 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On March 11, 2013, Ella Maria Camacho Garcia, 30, of Burlington, North Carolina, was sentenced to serve 78 months in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. Garcia pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and a conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute cocaine. Garcia also pleaded guilty to money laundering and received a money judgment in the amount of $815,000. On March 7, 2013, Jonathan L. Light, 24, of Kingsport, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 84 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Light pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On March 7, 2013, Levi D. Love, 24, of Kingsport, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Love was allowed to remain on bond until reporting to the Bureau of Prisons to serve his sentence. Love pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On March 4, 2013, Charles Thomas Lang, 30, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 157 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release. Lang pleaded guilty in September 2011 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, and money laundering. On February 28, 2013, Jessica R. Bernard, 23, of Greenville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Bernard pleaded guilty in September 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On February 28, 2013, Amanda D. Bernard, 23, of Afton, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Bernard pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On February 26, 2013, Shandita M. Compton, 31, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 63 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Compton pleaded guilty in October 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On February 25, 2013, Brock A. Lawson, 26, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 118 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Lawson pleaded guilty in July 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana. On April 25, 2013, James Light, 65, of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 150 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release. Light pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 500 grams or more of cocaine, and a conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. On April 25, 2013, Michael L. Dykes of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in January 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 55 kilograms or more of marijuana, and a conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. On April 30, 2013, Jeremy R. Light of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 57 months imprisonment, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Light pled guilty on January 3, 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. On April 30, 2013, Michael B. Dykes of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to 30 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in January 2013 conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. On July 23, 2013, Jackie D. Dykes of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 80 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in December 2012 conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 55 kilograms or more of marijuana, and a conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. On August 5, 2013, James H. McMurray Jr. of Blountville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 60 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release. McMurray pleaded guilty in April 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 100 kilograms or more of marijuana, and money laundering. On August 5, 2013, Michael Lee Lawson of Rogersville, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 70 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release. Lawson pleaded guilty in April 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 100 kilograms or more of marijuana. On October 16, 2013, Perry Christine Hudgens of Kingsport, Tennessee, was sentenced to serve 87 months in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. Lawson pleaded guilty in April 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 1,000 kilograms or more of marijuana, and a conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. The indictment and subsequent conviction of Light and other co-conspirators was the result of a Second Judicial Drug Task Force Kingsport, Tennessee, Police Department 3rd Judicial Drug Task Force Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Federal Bureau of Investigation Social Security Administration and Drug Enforcement Administration. Assistant U.S. Attorney Karen L. Heb.
Jesus, I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I messed the end of that up. Hey, Lil Wing. I messed the end of that up, but it's the same as the rest. Okay, where we at? Eastern District. This one comes from, this is James Light sentenced to 150 months in prison for conspiracies to distribute cocaine and oxycodone. Pretty much the same thing, but the last one, and I think the shortest, 5 minutes. Yeah. So we'll share this one. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to go right into the East Tennessee District Attorney General announcing joint initiative in Knoxville, which is a, just like we watched yesterday, where they came out, it's their press conference for the 313. And then hopefully I'm going to go to my Canva, and I got a pretty decent sized clip from Benny, not too big, it's small, 3 minutes. And then we're going to jump back into Ziggy, Fred, and Lora on the Arnolds and a few things on the lights. And hopefully by then, Fred will be in the room because he said he'd answer some questions. So sit back, enjoy for a little bit. It shouldn't be too long of a live tonight. But okay, let's go to the next one.
Greenville 10. James Light, 65, of Rogersville 10, was sentenced to serve 150 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release by the Honorable Leon Jordan, U.S. District Judge. Light pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute 500 grams or more of cocaine, and a conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone. As a result of this investigation, several other individuals have been convicted and sentenced for their involvement in the drug conspiracies. On APR 25, 2013, Michael L. Dykes, 51, of Rogersville 10, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison followed by 1 year of supervised release. Dykes was allowed to remain on bond until reporting to the Bureau of Prisons. He pleaded guilty in January 2013 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On APR 16, 2013, Lorne L. Lucelle, 32, of Rogersville 10, was sentenced to serve 108 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Lucelle pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On APR 16, 2013, Daniel L. Dykes, 29, of Rogersville 10, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in December 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On APR 2, 2013, Christy D. Dykes, 32, of Rogersville 10, was sentenced to serve 40 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Dykes pleaded guilty in November 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Mar. 21, 2013, Christy R.C., 39, of Greenville 10, was sentenced to serve 57 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. She pleaded guilty in September 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Mar. 2013, Ella Maria Camacho Garcia, 30, of Burlington, NC, was sentenced to serve 78 months in prison followed by 2 years of supervised release. Garcia pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute marijuana and a conspiracy to distribute and to possess with the intent to distribute cocaine. She also pleaded guilty to money laundering and received a money judgment in the amount of $815,000. On Mar. 7, 2013, Jonathan L. Light, 24, of Kingsport, 10, was sentenced to serve 84 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Light pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Mar. 7, 2013, Levi D. Love, 24, of Kingsport, 10, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Love was allowed to remain on bond until reporting to the Bureau of Prisons. He pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Mar. 4, 2013, Charles Thomas Lang, 30, of Rogersville, 10, was sentenced to serve 157 months in prison followed by 4 years of supervised release. Lang pleaded guilty in September 2011 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, and money laundering. On Feb. 28, 2013, Jessica R. Bernard, 23, of Greenville, 10, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Bernard pleaded guilty in September 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Feb. 28, 2013, Amanda D. Bernard, 23, of Afton, 10, was sentenced to serve 37 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Bernard pleaded guilty in August 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. On Feb. 26, 2013, Shandita M. Compton, 31, of Rogersville, 10, was sentenced to serve 63 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Compton pleaded guilty in October 2012 to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute oxycodone pills. The indictment and subsequent conviction of Light and other co-conspirators was the result of a 3-year investigation conducted by the Hawkins County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department, Sullivan County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department, Greene County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department, 2nd Judicial Drug Task Force, Kingsport, Tennessee Police Department, 3rd Judicial Drug Task Force, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and DEA. Assistant U.S. Attorney Karen L. Hebetz represented the United States.
Phoebe, you need to go to the hospital if your doctor ain't open. It looks like JSB had. She did, and it was around. No, they got charged in 2015, though. It wasn't with this bust. It was separate. Jody, Sue, and Andy's were separate from this big bust. So what I wanted to state about this was what we're going to get into a little later after we watch the 313 initiative. And you know what? I think I am going to go back to yesterday's, the one with the motorcycle gang. I think we'll watch both before we hop into Fred. But what I wanted to point out is this happened probably the year of Dawn and Candace moving to Rogersville. So a lot of these people don't know Dawn and Candace, but they know Fred. And in my opinion, this is just an opinion, okay? And that's why I want Fred over here, because I asked him yesterday, did he think that the bust in Knoxville, he said that he believes that might be what was carrying drugs into Rogersville for years, okay, into where they live. Do I know that that's true? No. But after watching yesterday's thing, it's a huge possibility that that's how it's getting there, you know? We hear Dawn goes to Knoxville, Andy goes to Knoxville, all these people going to Knoxville. They could be carrying it back in. That's all Eastern Tennessee. And the news conference yesterday said Eastern Tennessee. So something I caught and I spoke about before that we're going to go over tonight with Fred and Lora is, James Light sending someone to off Fred and Laura's horse around this time. In my opinion, it's a possibility Fred snitched. Okay? And these people are out for revenge for Fred. It's a lane. It's a lane to go down. It's a lane I've been trying to go down. Is it a safe lane? Probably not. But I think it's an important lane. It's good to know that if Fred has enemies and he's friends with Dawn and Candace, even though Ziggy says he wasn't, we hear from many other locals that he was. It could be, and then you got Marlena involved, which is another complexity to it. And then you have the guy who's related to a good majority of these people that were arrested in this bust making podcasts, Mr. Pell. So I think this is something that we need to go over again. Andy, don't go to Knoxville. Okay, whatever. We know there's people in the area that goes to Knoxville. Okay? That's what I'm saying. But anyway, so let's go to this. This is 19 minutes long. I'm just going to mute and take myself off the screen. I'm actually going to step away for probably about 5 minutes. I have something I need to do here, but I can hear it. Okay.
I am Sharm Allen. I am the district attorney for the 6th Judicial District, which is Knox County. We appreciate you being here as we announce the 313 initiative this morning. And the 313 initiative is a concerted and organized effort by state and local law enforcement officials to identify, target, and dismantle organizations that are coming here from Detroit, Michigan, and the surrounding area. These individuals have chosen Knox County and the surrounding counties to market their narcotics. I don't have to tell you that when narcotics come into our community, not only do we have additional drug charges, we have additional violent crime that results from that influx of drugs into our community. We also have overdose deaths. In Knox County alone, we had 39 suspected overdose deaths just last month in January.
Let's put this old phone back in service with the new Generate Background feature in Photoshop. First, we'll remove the background. Then click Generate Background. 1970s New York Street. That does it.
This initiative will target those individuals, and just since our recent beginning, we have had some very positive results. I'd like to share some of those results with you right now. In the last month and a half, we have removed from the streets almost 42 pounds of methamphetamine, almost 8 pounds of fentanyl and/or heroin, multiple pounds of marijuana, multiple dosage units of prescription pills, over $132,000 in cash, 29 guns have been seized, 4 of which were stolen guns, and most importantly, 46 Detroit-connected arrests have been made by the law enforcement officials who are part of the 313 initiative. You might ask, why is it titled the 313 initiative? Well, that is simple. 313 is the area code for the Detroit, Michigan area. We're here today to make a statement and to let those individuals from the 313 area code know that Knox County and the surrounding counties are no longer a place that you are welcome. This is officially a hostile market for those of you who want to peddle your drugs in our area. And with that, I would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Jimmy Dunn, who is the District Attorney General for the 4th Judicial District, serving Cocke, Granger, Jefferson, and Sevier counties.
Thank you, General. I'd like to tell you just a little bit about how our plan is a little different than than what we've been doing in the past. Over the past several years, law enforcement has relied on traditional investigations, targeting multiple individuals in criminal conspiracies. Often these investigations are lengthy in nature, with the investigations taking months or even years to conclude. The 313 initiative is an approach where individuals and drug trafficking organizations are identified and quickly dismantled using a more short-term investigative approach, such as traffic stops, by bust, search warrants, giving law enforcement the ability to address more trafficking in a shorter period of time. Law enforcement agencies will utilize all available resources and investigative tools to identify these individuals and groups from Detroit who are within the target area that reside in or travel through or often frequent East Tennessee for the sole purpose of establishing travel corridors and distribution points for illegal narcotics such as heroin, fentanyl, and methamphetamine. These investigative tools would include both traditional detective work and 21st century technology that we can use to stop the pipeline of illegal drugs into our community. So you see, collaboration is paramount to the success to this 313 initiative. These are the agencies that are participating in this initiative: the Drug Enforcement Administration, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Eastern District of Tennessee, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Tennessee Highway Patrol, the Knoxville Police Department, the Knox County Sheriff's Department, the 4th Judicial Drug Task Force, Sevier County Street Crimes Unit, 5th Judicial Drug Task Force, 7th Judicial District Crime Task Force, and the District Attorney Generals of the 4th, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Judicial Districts. So at this time, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. General Jared Effler, who will representing Campbell, Claiborne, Fentress, Scott, and Union counties. And he will tell us how this will assist rural areas.
Thank you, General. As General Allen has already alluded, let's be very clear that drug trafficking is a violent crime that causes the death of our citizens and often wreaks havoc in our communities. This is especially true when heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl dealers in our rural judicial districts are sourced by larger scale traffickers in our metropolitan areas. This 313 initiative will equip law enforcement and prosecutors with a centralized database where they can share information that will enable us to better identify and prosecute both our local dealers and their larger scale traffickers. I am confident that this 313 initiative will improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our drug prosecutions and investigations. It will make our communities safer. And most importantly, it is going to send a strong message to Detroit drug dealers that East Tennessee is not a place for them to set up shop. At this time, I would like to introduce my colleague who very capably serves the citizens of Blount County, General Ryan Desmond.
As General Effler said, there are multiple purposes to this initiative. Of course, it's about maintaining the safety of our community, but it's also about sending a message. That message begins with law enforcement and what has been laid out here today, their ability to take violent drug traffickers off the street and their dangerous substances away from our communities. But that message continues with us as prosecutors in the district attorney's office. And the message is clear, The people of East Tennessee are fed up with drug trafficking coming into our communities. We are tired of the deaths, the crime, and the violent activity that results from that drug trafficking. And we as district attorneys will partner with our law enforcement friends to send that message. They will arrest, they will gather the evidence, and then we will strictly apply the laws of the state of Tennessee to seek harsh sentences for those that are bringing these dangerous substances into our community. The onus is upon us to make sure that we hear the voices of the East Tennessee citizens and that we maintain the safety of our communities. And we will do so through this initiative.
Thank you. And with that, we are concluding our presentation portion, and we will take any questions that you guys have.
What makes this different than things you've tried before?
Anybody?
Well, I can say this. The big part is we are all limited to our jurisdictional cases, right? Cases are brought in Knox County or Blount County. This is a collaborative effort. Our drug task force and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation will be communicating hand in hand with each other to identify these individuals so that people that are going from Sevier County to Knox County to Blount County, it is a regional problem, and we have to fight we have to fight this battle on many fronts, and it has to be a collaborative effort that we all join in together. And I thank the TBI for bringing all of us together, because when we are hand in hand partnering, our message is all that much stronger. Our enforcement is all that much stronger.
When you look at violent crime in the community, is there do you know what percent can be tied back to Detroit or that 313 area?
I can't give you a particular percentage, but I can tell you that the vast majority of crime is related directly to drugs. Every crime you look at, you can really trace it back, if you go far enough, to some drug nexus. And so anything that we can do to stop the drugs from coming in is not only going to decrease our drug crimes, they're going to decrease everything from our violent crimes all the way down to our shoplifting. I mean, when you think about it, the influx of drugs affects everything, even shoplifting crimes where people are going in and stealing items from a store just to resell that to have the money to buy the drugs. Everything, our DUIs, all of our DUIs now, vast majority of them are drug related. They used to be alcohol. Now it's a mixture of alcohol and drugs, and lots of just pure drug DUI cases. So most of the cases that we touch as prosecutors have some nexus to a drug somewhere down the road. And so anything that we can do to stop that influx of drugs is going to curb that crime rate across the board.
Is there anything the community can do to help you all with this initiative? You know, how can the community spot drug trafficking, and what should they do if they suspect it's happening?
Well, our citizens are indispensable in our effort to curb the drug epidemic that plagues our entire region. And we encourage them, if you see something, say something. You know, if you have suspected drug dealers in your community, you can remain anonymous, but please report that to your local police department or local sheriff's department, because oftentimes it's that information which leads to investigations, which leads to prosecution, which leads to removing those dealers from our street. So I would encourage the citizens, if you're fed up with drug dealing, you know, report that to law enforcement and they will follow up on it.
How much of today's announcement is a result of what we saw a couple of days ago, that drug bus, 3 pounds of fentanyl coming in on the Greyhound bus? Was that kind of the tipping point for you guys?
I don't think that was a tipping point. I think we had already begun the initiative, and what you are seeing, those buses that you are seeing, are a result of our initiative. So the initiative's been up and running for a couple of months. And as I mentioned in our statistics, they've been extremely successful so far. So I think the tipping point came long before that bus that you saw a couple of days ago. I think the tipping point has come for law enforcement and for us as district attorneys forever. We have been so sick of this, and so we're constantly coming up with new and improved ways. I really do want to reiterate what I think one of you guys said, maybe Ryan, that really this is the TBI. came to us and said, we want to work together more collaboratively with more partners. We think we can be more successful in combating this problem if we really set up a better team. And so even though it's the district attorneys who are standing here talking to you, we cannot reiterate enough how much this was a law enforcement initiative where they came together and they are working together at all levels. So many law enforcement and investigators from different agencies are working together. And the tipping point is all of those investigators and all of us prosecutors are sick and tired of the devastation that we are seeing in our community because of these drugs.
And if I may just briefly add, just one other thing, this is where the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, our law enforcement agencies have brought so much. Typically, a criminal investigation is reactive, right? You wait for a crime to occur, then you go gather evidence, you gather witness statements, and you see if you can apply that evidence to the law. They are taking a very proactive approach. We are going to build these cases on the front end. If you're coming from Detroit, we're not going to wait for you to get established, to get your hooks in our community. We're going to be on the lookout from you the second you come into our state jurisdiction. And we are going to begin building those cases automatically. If you're communicating with people in Knoxville or people in the East Tennessee area, we're going to know ahead of time because we're already going to have their phones. We're going to know exactly who those individuals in Detroit are. So if you're coming into East Tennessee, you better beware because they're already on the lookout for you. And we're already building cases against you before you've ever gotten here. And that's the message we're trying to send.
And is it possible to say when East Tennessee started to see an uptick in drug trafficking, specifically from Detroit? Was this the past year, past handful of years where we started to see that uptick?
I can tell you that in Knox County, that we originally, years ago, started with a pill problem. We had a significant number of pill mills in Knox County, and we did a really good job, law enforcement did a really good job of shutting down those pill mills. And once we closed those pill mills, what happened is we already had an entire part of our society that was already addicted to opiates. And so at that point, we became a supply and demand situation. We had so many people here who were already addicted, looking for specifically opioids, that in 2015, that shift began. That's when we really shut down the last of the pill mills. And that is 2016, I believe, is the first year that we saw fentanyl is the #1 drug in all of our overdose deaths. Before that, we had seen oxycodone, oxymorphone, the pills. So really the shift, I think, in Knox County and the surrounding counties began in the mid-teens when we really started shifting to the heroin. And then in recent years, we've seen the heroin shift to fentanyl because fentanyl, I believe, is cheaper to produce and they can cut their drugs with it and they can make more money. Fentanyl happens to be extremely deadly. And because of the influx of fentanyl, we're seeing more deaths. And so I believe that's the progression of we really, before 15, it was pills. 16, it became heroin. The later teens, it's become fentanyl. And then we're where we are today. So that is our message. Stop your heroin, stop your fentanyl, stop your methamphetamines, because we are beginning to see an uptick again in methamphetamine along with the fentanyl and the heroin.
Is there any correlation between local gang activity and the drug trafficking that you're seeing from Detroit?
Anybody want to take a picture?
Yeah, you do. Go ahead.
Yes, there's a correlation. In Knox County specifically because we being an urban area have a little more of a gang situation probably than my surrounding counties, but there is a definite correlation between gang activity and drug activity. That's what a gang is. A gang is a group of individuals who use criminal enterprises to build their gang up and connect themselves. And so drug trafficking is certainly something that goes hand in hand with gang activity in Knox County.
And I believe that adds just to why this collaboration is so important. it is true the gang activity may have taken a little bit of a foothold in Knoxville, but the footprint is spreading to all of our communities. Their stash houses are in our communities where they like to hide their drugs, their weapons. Those aren't just contained, to Knox County jurisdictions. It's coming into all our communities, and that's why this collaboration is so important, because we know even if they live here in Knox County, they may have suppliers or dealers or stash houses in other communities. So being able to communicate with our jurisdictions is just critical to building the overarching larger case against those gangs who have made their way into our communities.
And one more question for me, if I can. We saw that story again just a few days ago, 3 pounds of fentanyl being stopped before coming into the community. Is it possible to say, just to give people an idea, 3 pounds of fentanyl, how many different people could that potentially be distributed to had it not been stopped?
That amount of fentanyl, I'm not sure how many persons that amount of fentanyl would have the capability of causing their death, but it's safe to say that literally it could wipe out a large portion of the Knox County population and also a large portion of my judicial district, which right now sits around 130,000 people. So I'd like to impress upon everyone that when you start talking about fentanyl, a piece of fentanyl the size of Abraham Lincoln's nose on a penny is enough to kill you. So multiply that into however many pounds, then it's very easy to see that literally it could wipe out thousands of our citizens.
Any more? Okay, thank you guys very much for being here. We appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I did not check all of my notifications. I've kind of been in and out listening to music. I slept a lot. I needed like a little brain break, I guess, after the last couple days in that damn attorney. We'll talk about that another time. So the next one, you bet they all know each other, probably. I'll get to it, I promise. I'm always behind. Look, I showed up late tonight. It just takes me a little bit. I'll get to it, I promise. Okay. So the next one I want to show is yesterday. Now, I showed it twice yesterday, but I think it's important. I seen somebody in the chat, who was it? Little Wing, I think, or Little Dev, one of the two, had asked, they wonder if they still have this going today, if they're still looking into it. Now, I believe they do, although I believe they've added other names to it, like this one's not the 313 initiative. Yesterday, they had a bust for the Pagans. I spoke about my feelings on the Pagans yesterday. If I have to, we'll go over it again. I don't believe all Pagans are bad. I grew up around the Pagans in a little town called Glassport, all bikers. There are some, a lot, that are, but there also are a lot that are not. So we can't look at this like the whole bike gang is horrible. However, they do be doing shit for money, yo. You know what I mean? And coming from the little town I come from, I know that drugs run rampant through that group. But it's funny because before my father-in-law, my husband now, his dad passed away. He was in the VA hospital, and he had come back to live with us, and he had met a friend there. Well, I guess he knew the guy for quite some time. And that dude was a pagan, and we had a barbecue with him, and my husband just reminded me of that today. That was pretty cool. But anyways, okay, do I think they're still going on with this initiative? Yes, I do. This is what happened yesterday, and this is what Fred spoke about in my chat. They said he's busy, he can't come. Maybe he can come a little later. I don't know. If not, we're still going to go over what I put together tonight, and he can come in another night. I don't know. But refer to my chat yesterday for what he said about this, because I think it was important. Maybe. Hashtag Fred said sometimes. A lot of times. I don't know. I'll make this big. This one's only 11 minutes and 12 seconds long. I'm going to take myself off the screen and just shush.
Well, good morning. I appreciate all of you being here with us this morning. My name is David Roush. I have the honor of serving as the director for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. This morning we're here to talk about an investigation that was recently concluded. In December, TBI agents in the Drug Investigation Division and Drug Task Force agents in the 5th Judicial District investigating the distribution of large quantities of methamphetamine in Knox County and surrounding areas conducted that investigation. During the investigation, agents learned that the distributor or the distribution efforts were led locally by Richard Carroll Baker. Baker is a member of the outlaw motorcycle gang known as the Pagans. Baker is no stranger to policing. He was being assisted by Brian Baston Fox, also a member of the Pagan motorcycle gang. In addition to Fox, agents have identified at least 13 other individuals who worked with Baker to sell meth throughout East Tennessee. These arrests serve as a testament to what happens when policing agencies work together. In addition to working along with hand in hand with the 5th Judicial Task Force, agents collaborated with numerous local, state, and federal agencies, which include the 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office, Knox County Sheriff's Office, the 9th Judicial Drug Task Force, Homeland Security Investigations, the ATF, and the FBI, as well as the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District. We appreciate the dedication and the hard work of all of those involved. This case was truly a team effort. I think this investigation provides more proof of how these gangs, known to engage in illegal activity, are attempting to take root in our communities. We can't let that happen. As I have stated many times over the several years in policing, drugs, violence, and death are interrelated. Those who engage in manufacturing and distribution of illegal drugs are responsible for the vast majority of the violent crime in our communities. In this case, the crimes that have been led by members of the Pagan motorcycle gang, they try to downplay their criminal behavior by calling themselves a club. But let me be clear. They are nothing more than a criminal organization made up of cowardly thugs. And they play on the vulnerable in our communities. Because of the outstanding work of the courageous women and men in policing, the local, state, and federal officers involved, our surrounding communities in Knoxville are now safer. With this arrest of Baker, Fox, and the individuals that were engaged in this activity. I'm now going to turn it over to Sharm Allen, our District Attorney General here in the Knoxville area, to elaborate more on the arrest and the efforts going forward. General?
Thank you, Director. I will tell you that on Wednesday, July the 31st, the Knox County Grand Jury returned a 10-count presentment charging 15 defendants with methamphetamine trafficking charges. This presentment followed the investigation that Director Roush has just spoke about. They used cutting-edge technology to follow the flow of drugs into both Knox County and our surrounding East Tennessee areas. During the course of the investigation, agents learned, as you've heard, that members of the Pagan Motorcycle Club were involved in this distribution ring. In this particular incident, gang members were actually wearing their cuts or their vests while both distributing drugs and collecting drug debts here in the East Tennessee area. This case highlights several things. This case highlights the cooperative effort between all the law enforcement agencies in our area, and what a fine job that they are doing. Because of these efforts, we were able to charge these 15 individuals with these 10 A felonies. Each of these individuals is looking at between 15 and 60 years as a punishment. They are all Class A felonies. And the first of these co-conspirators are being arraigned this morning in Criminal Court Division 2 here in Knox County. I think that this also highlights a victory in removing large quantities of methamphetamine from our streets. If you look at the medical examiner's report for 2023, you will find that the second most frequent drug found in our overdose deaths here in Knox County is in fact methamphetamine. It's right behind fentanyl. So by removing these large quantities of methamphetamine from our streets, there is no doubt that these officers and agents have saved lives, which is the point of our operation. This is an offshoot of the 313 initiative. I would like to say what a terrific success the 313 initiative has been. We have charged.
She just said it. I missed that yesterday. This is an offshoot of the 313 initiative. So yes, it's a continuance of the 313 initiative. I find it interesting that that came after Summer's disappearance. I find it interesting that you see new people from the TBI in Summer's case. I, for some reason, feel like this is important to Summer's case. I don't know why. I don't know for sure, but I do.
Numerous individuals through that initiative. I think as of right now, we have made 417 arrests through that, including this particular conspiracy with the Pagan outlaw motorcycle gang. So I think there are many takeaways, and I think the most telling number that we can look at to show how successful the work of these agents behind me is that last year at this time in Knox County, we had lost 308 people to overdoses. As of today, we are at 207. We have saved 101 lives at this time this year as compared to last year. And that is in part, largely in part, to all the work that's done in initiatives like this and the lives that will be saved because of these arrests in this particular conspiracy case involving the Pagans. And at this time, I think the director and I will take any questions that you have.
So you brought up the 313 initiative. You know, is this a direct pipeline, this methamphetamine that you all found with the Pagan group? Is it a direct correlation to that 313 pipeline coming down here from Michigan, or is it something completely separate?
I believe that, and I believe investigators can speak to that better than I. These particular drugs, I think, are related to Atlanta, but clearly the 313 initiative was part of ferreting that out. If you want to speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a spinoff from that. These were primarily sourced out of Atlanta, and it's in connection to a case that the U.S. Attorney's Office sent out a message on this morning. So it's actually connected with that case as well. So, but yes, it's a spinoff of what we're seeing coming out of Detroit as well.
And how long did this investigation take?
So it started in December of last year.
So you mentioned some cutting edge technology that helped kind of push you guys forward in this investigation. Can you kind of talk to me about that and what that technology is?
Yeah, well, I'll be careful there because it is technology that we don't necessarily want a lot of folks to be aware of what we're utilizing. We can just leave it at the fact that we are using all the resources that have been provided to us and the technologies that, fortunately, that our government has allowed us to continue to use within the parameters of the Constitution. And so, but yes, I won't go into details of the specific technologies, but I can tell you we utilize all of the great pieces of technology that exist.
And how are you all able to pin down, the Pagan Motorcycle Club specifically for this investigation?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, they were leading the effort in this distribution network. And so once we became aware of their engagement, that's where the focus of the investigation went is, as we do these investigations, we're looking for those who are directly responsible for the distribution and the network that takes place. In this case, the primary arrestee that I mentioned, Baker, was the primary target as a result of his behavior in leading this specific drug trafficking organization.
So both Baker, Fox, and all of the other 13 were all involved in this Pagan motorcycle?
Not all were members of the club, but Baker and Fox are members. The others were not directly involved in the club.
And the only drug was that?
Their primary. Now there were some other, but their primary drug was methamphetamine.
And I know the investigation is still going on, but could there be any future arrest from other groups in Knox County?
Yeah, that's always potential, right? These operations always lead to more interest and more information, and so that there's always potential for additional arrests to be made as a result of what we have learned in this case.
Any other questions?
Again, thank you all so much for being here and being part of this. Thank you.
I never thought that the shirt I
So my live is going much faster than I thought it would. I don't know if I should show the next part because Fred ain't here. I really want to watch it with him because I included the Arnolds in it. I don't want to have to keep watching them over and over. North Cross, yes, that was it, little Dev. That's what Squall was pushing to me very hard at the beginning of this. And to you guys, like that's what she came out. I don't know what Squall's part is in this. I don't know for sure who Squall is. Do I still believe she's the Crawford girl? Yeah, I do. Could I be wrong? 100% absolutely I can be. Okay? However, I still have to find that live where she confirmed it. Like I swear she did. I know I have it. It's just a lot of shit to go through. Hours and hours and hours and hours. I don't know how much time I have. I also wanted to go over the PI call today. However, I changed my mind on that just for right now. I went back and listened to it, and I want to go over with you guys pretty much unedited. However, there are things in there I don't exactly want to share about Renfro and my chicken video and shit like that. It's kind of embarrassing now, So I'm going to take that shit out. Okay? And some of the stuff I did where I did some doxing. I think the Scott part is important to listen to. So I'm going to have to just edit that. You guys are going to have to give me a little time on that. I got to think on that one. Okay? I don't know if I want to put that out. I'm being honest with you. And it's nothing to do with being sneaky or anything like that. It's just I personally don't want to go down that fucking road again. If that makes sense. I'm coming out of it. And I'm hoping to keep it that way. So there may be some things I have to take out of it. All right. I guess we'll just listen to the Fred and Lora and Chad stuff. Oh, there's a clip this is why I wanted Fred here. This is a clip from Benny's. It starts out, I added this to it. Let's just give it a listen.
I can't teach you now. I was coming home tonight, and there was this guy in a pickup truck, and he had a horse behind him, and I slowed way down. I slowed way down. I can't teach you now. I can't teach you now. I was coming home tonight, and there was this guy in a pickup truck, and he had a horse behind him, and I slowed way down. I slowed way down. And he smiled and laughed at me and winked at me. And I believe, in my mind, that was the horse that, remember the horse that Duke? Yeah, remember that? Yeah. You remember that shit? I do remember it. It was, yeah. It was at the same thing. It was chasing after the horse? Okay, I think this man that I saw way down to and looked at, he smiled and waved at me today. And he was, he had the horse behind his pickup. And he was going real slow, but he slowed way down, he waved at me and smiled at me. So when you had the horse behind the pickup, you mean like the horse got loose again, or it was in a trailer? No, it's like the horse was loose again. And he was bringing it back home, like the horse was tied up to the truck, and he was walking. He was tied up to the truck, and he was going towards Kingsport. And so, what did that feeling, I mean, what did it make you feel like? I slowed way down, I looked at the dude, he smiled at me and waved. And I'm like, okay, in my mind, I was like, do I turn around? Do I chase this fucker down? What do I do? Do I do that? I don't know what to do. What made you feel like you needed to chase him? Just a smile on his face. Just a look in his eye. Did you report it? No, I didn't report it. That's one thing I didn't do. Have you heard anything from... I haven't heard anything from anybody, dude. Not even Donnie? Donnie tried to call me, but I can't accept his phone calls with the random.
March 2nd. March 3rd is what you heard first. Everything is in Quentin Tarantino. Who's laughing is not important. It was on a TV.
The video still made me feel like I was fucking... I don't fucking know, man. I looked at him, he looked at me, he waved, and he smiled, he just kept on going on. Was it an old guy or a young guy? No, it was an older guy. He was about 50 or 60 years old. You never seen...
I had to run to the bathroom. I wanted to catch that part. Bullshit, Benny. Who's laughing is important. Who is it in the background you have sitting behind that damn camera, computer, whatever it is you're staring into? I've been hearing it this whole damn fucking recording. And it ain't your mama because she walks in from the other side. I think barely dressed, as usual. Bullshit. Sounds like Penny to me. I want to know who was in the background laughing. All right.
Around anywhere. So, like, in my mind right now, I'm just like, I should have followed him. I just turned around and followed him. Well, I don't think he would be that hard to find. I don't know, man. Let me ask you this. It was...
Okay, so the reason for sharing that clip was because I was going to go into David Bayes. I guess we'll just listen to the next parts, and if you guys have any questions, but I'm going to have to go over this another night when Fred's available. And I don't want to piss him off, so I'm not going to talk no shit, and I believe he could be busy tonight. God knows what's going on. I'm just happy Ziggy ain't pregnant. Did anybody see that today? Prayer Garden posting some distasteful meme with Summer on it stating Ziggy's pregnant, and then Ziggy getting on tarot and saying she's not. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Must have to do with Prayer Garden's live last night, which Paula says she wouldn't watch it if she was paid $1,000. I might have to watch it just to catch up and see what the hell's going on, because what the hell? Okay, so we'll just go on to the next part.
I came by early, read it, and it didn't look like anybody was here. So why?
Well, I was down here
so
picking up a trailer.
So why do you say you know too much? Well, so what do you know about Don Hope?
They're guilty as hell. I mean,
You think? What do you think?
I mean, within 3 hours he was here, and I was gone when the little girl went missing. Well, there's a friend of mine come, and Candace was walking off my driveway before she even called 911.
So she was.
It's like you're trying to set me up for some reason. That's what I feel.
So Candace came by here. Was she acting like she was looking for Summer?
Yeah, that's what she was acting when my friend came.
So
he said that she was walking off the driveway, walking.
Was she by herself?
Yeah.
You mean she walked? No, she drove her vehicle down here, didn't she?
She was walking.
All right, I'm just going to leave myself up here because I'm just going to go over. I had wrote down just a couple questions for Fred from the first couple clips here. I want to know, Fred, was Candace walking or driving? Because in the next clip we're going to watch, Lora said she stood outside of her car, which means she was driving. I would also like to know what time exactly. I would like you to repeat. What time did Chad say he saw Candace? Lora says that Candace asked Chad if he's seen Summer. I would like to know, do you know if Candace did ask Chad if she's seen Summer? The next questions will wait till we get to the clips. It's only like 2 more that I wrote down before I came live. I probably should have written down more, but these ones, if you want to just leave comments in the comments section under this live, it would be helpful. Then I wouldn't have to go over this again. All of it. Okay, hold on.
She walked all the way from Ben Hill to here.
I just like Don, he was home that day too.
Was he? Do
Yes.
you think he was?
Yeah, and went to work that evening. After Candace got there.
So
Here's my problem with that, and this is why I want to ask Paula. The 911 call says it advised that the mother had gone for a walk. I was going to put the 911 call into this tonight, but I figured we listened to it a million times and I didn't need the whole thing. But the fact that the dispatcher on the 911 call said the father advised the mother had gone for a walk. That's why I think it's a little bit important. Okay.
you think he was home that day?
Yeah, I know he was.
Where? Oh, you saw him?
Fact. Yeah.
Where'd you see him at?
At his house.
But he said that she stood outside the car, didn't even go to the door. I hollered at him and asked if he knowed if we was home, and he told her that he said, "I know. I don't know if they're home. I just now pulled up."
The only other thing I would add to that, Paula, is the police also said, "We seen you leave twice." But do we know that they seen her leave in a car? I keep looking for that clip and I can't find it. And I know I have it because I have a folder with news, but it has so much shit in it. I'm going to have to keep searching for it so that I could hear Dawn's exact words again. That was the day they did the lie detector test, and Dawn said, oh, she passed it. She passed it. It was the same news clip. All right. I'm sorry.
And said that, she said, well, their truck's not here. He said, well, then more than likely they're not home then. And said she got back in her car and said that she was asking if he seen that little girl.
Was this at your house? Which place was this? Was that this at your mom or
It was at our place.
Down at 207?
Yep, the camper.
So there's no way she pulled behind the house, Daisy, because you can't pull behind the house at 207. You can only pull, right? Can you pull behind the house at 2? No, you can't. I don't think.
No.
Over 167 you can.
That's the only place you can pull at 167.
Yeah, 167. So,
that's
exactly, and that's another thing too. If Fred was involved, do you guys really think that he would tell us willingly, oh, that the dog's hit by his truck? Did you see that? Did you see the dog's hit by his truck?
Yeah. Did I see what now?
The dogs. The sit dogs. Did you see them?
Oh, yeah.
So
they didn't hit on the truck. They hit behind the truck.
Okay, so that's where my next questions come into play. Hold on, let me pull them out. Where was your truck parked when the dogs hit? Was it parked at the top of the driveway in the yard at 167? At 207, I believe, is the address. Where did the dogs exactly hit? The distance behind your truck? Let me see. Lora said it was the top, but then she changed it to the bottom. So I really would like for you to confirm that if you can. And I also know we're going to get into Chad, I believe, and Jason and all that other stuff. And I didn't write no more questions after this part. But I want to know, in your opinion, what kind of person Chad is. Okay. We'll just listen tonight. I'm not going to ask too many questions about this because he's not here and it's concerning another person. So I'm going to try not to make assumptions, but since I had it together and this is what I was doing, this is where we're going to continue.
Oh, did she pull in the driveway?
Yes, she did.
Oh, did she pull in the driveway?
Yes, she did. I pulled up to the bottom of the driveway one.
Because it's hard to get up that. Well, I don't know what she was driving. Do you know what she was driving?
I can't remember what Chad said. Where he said she pulled up to.
You don't think, what kind of person is Chad? You don't think it's possible that he could?
No, absolutely not. Nope.
Okay.
Same with Jeff. I don't think so. And believe me, most of Fred's friends I don't like, so I would.
So Chad was down at 207, right?
Yes. Yes. Why ain't my earbud connecting?
Chad told her he would look on Clinch Mountain. I don't know. Supposedly, Candace is going around telling everybody. Now all of a sudden, she wants to admit that she saw Chad that day. She never freaking has ever mentioned it before, but now all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh yeah." What the 2 years? Almost 2 years later.
Oh my God. Stupidity runs deep around here.
When Candace says she saw Chad Arnold up there at your driveway, Chad Arnold wasn't there when you guys were there?
No. Chad come in while we was gone.
Okay, do you know if anyone else showed up when you guys were gone?
Not that I know of.
So Chad Arnold did show up while you were gone. And when you guys got home, was Chad Arnold still there?
No.
So he had left. How did you know he was there then? Just what you heard from Candace, or did Fred talk to him?
He came the next day. He came in the next day.
Oh, and he said he had been up there?
Yeah, and that he seen Candace at the bottom of the driveway.
Okay. All right. And how did Chad Arnold get up there when he would go up there? Did he drive? Did he walk? Did he?
He drove a Ford truck.
What color was his truck?
Blue.
So he drove a blue Ford truck. And when he would come up there and visit you guys, did he come up always alone, or did he ever come up there with other people?
He was usually alone.
Okay. And so this is another question I had. So I noticed that at that time, Chad Arnold and Francis had been having relationship problems. Do you know where Chad was staying? Because he actually had a restraining order. He wasn't supposed to be staying over there with Francis.
He was living on the river on his land.
So what land do you talk? His land? Which land is this?
In Churchill.
Okay, so over there off of California Avenue?
Yep.
Okay, so he wasn't staying there with his mom, Peggy, then. He was staying, like, on the river?
He was, I don't know if he stays with his mom and he stays on the river, so I don't know.
Oh, that's right. He was staying on the river. That's right. Haskell Rhines took me to way out there in the mountains on a river, somebody's house on the river, like his uncle's or something. Wasn't he staying at somebody's house on the river? Yeah, it's way out there. Haskell took me out there to try to, because I wanted to talk to him because he. What vehicle Candace was in when Chad seen her? Do you know? Did Chad tell you what car he saw Candace driving?
I think he said.
Okay. And now, I don't know. I know you don't know Chad Arnold very well, but do you know if Ed is one of the people that he worked with horses with Chad Arnold? Did Chad Arnold ever work with him with horses?
I actually know Chad pretty well. I've known him for 20 years, so I'm going to know Fred.
Right. Okay. Then you would know. Did he ever work for the Redmonds up there, or did any of those people doing training horses up there?
No.
Okay. Well, then since
Redmond and them don't have horses.
Okay, so they don't have any? Okay. So since you know Chad so well, what is your impression of Chad?
Chad's a good person. He just has a problem with drugs, just like the rest of us.
Right. Okay.
But as far as being a weirdo or anything like that, no, he's a good person. He would never hurt a kid.
Why do you think his wife has a restraining order against him? Do you know, like, what her complaints are with him?
They just got into it. He was drinking.
And did something stupid or what? Has he gotten really bad since his brother passed away or something?
Yeah. That hurt all of us, man. Bad. It fucked us up. Jason was a good person. He
I've thought about that a lot because the way they done a couple cases in the past and stuff, like my best friend, he went missing December the 8th. They had his body December 21st. We tried to report him missing same day. They tell us we can't report him missing because they seen him that day. But what they didn't tell us, they put him in a body bag that day. 2 years later, the coroner folks up and called his mom. That's how we find out he's dead. They bring the cadaver dog, everything out, played a role. They put up big rewards, all that during that 2 years. I mean, just like they're doing something. I mean, search all it. And they done had his body.
What was
Why
his
would
name?
they do all that? You know?
What was your friend's name?
Jason Arnold. But see, Hawkins County didn't like him.
Why didn't they like him?
I mean,
Just
Okay, I'm back. I want to address this part. You know, Jason Arnold was also involved in some crazy arrests that I think I'm going to pull up in the next one. And if Fred comes on, I can ask him questions about that too, because there was some arrests that the Arnolds were involved in at the other end of Beach Creek down by the Brits, right? Like, so I want to look, I believe that was 2015. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm going to pull up what I have on that and some other things, and we can go through that in my next live to continue off of this one. We're also going to get into here, they're going to talk about Ajon, okay? Jason Arnold's connection to Ajon. And I have a ton of questions about this, not only for Fred, but I would like to talk to Dudley about this. So Dudley, if you're out there listening, or if anybody has communication with Dudley and would ask him if he would like to reach out to me to answer some of the questions I have about that, I think it's important because it puts the connection of Arnold's and Dudley's knowing each other and working together in construction, which means Dawn may have been contracted out by these people and there may be a connection there. Now, it doesn't look as if Dudley and the Arnolds get along at all. It's just all odd. I seem to say that in every live, right? But I'll pull that up for the next live. But okay, let's continue listening.
he went in, if he got in trouble, he went full his time right then, and he give him hell. I mean, really give him hell at the jail and stuff.
so you're saying, okay, they said
didn't care if he was dead or not, really, what I was saying. You know, what I was trying to get at. Because he did move a little bit of drugs, but nothing like they wanted to allow, you know. They wanted to put out there like he was the kingpin of all kingpins.
what about
That's like, I'm going to tell you, like Jason Arnold that went there. So
Yeah.
We thought they was just hiding his body for 2 years. What I didn't understand until now, it takes a little over 2 years for the forensics and stuff to come back.
Oh.
See, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, I thought they was really hiding his body, but they really weren't. It was just takes that long for the forensics and everything to come back, you know?
Yeah.
And see, he'd actually been cut up and stuff. See, they didn't find much of his body when they found him. They found his head and a hand and a foot and something else.
Wow.
That's all they found.
I can't believe that
that they found that right in his own yard, didn't they? But it was like a year later.
Well, it was a neighboring property. A dog had drug his head in what it was.
Wow.
Oh, no, they found him. They tried to say it was a year later, but he actually went missing December the 8th. And the 21st, we tried to report him missing on the 21st of December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they tried to tell us that they seen him earlier that day, but what they didn't tell us, they just found his body that day.
Oh.
So the 8th to the 21st, that's not many days.
Yeah. So.
Had his body on the 21st of December.
Oh, so it hadn't been a year. It wasn't. It didn't take a year for him to find the body.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
But what didn't make sense to me is what I didn't understand too at the time. I always wondered, well, why did they take your cadaver dogs and stuff back out there time and time and time again? They was trying to find the rest of his body.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, a lot of stuff at that time didn't make sense to me. And I done a lot of research on Jason, more than probably the law did. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't understand certain things that the law did at the time, but I do now. I understand it now.
Right. So this is all okay. Yeah.
Really was. He didn't deserve what he got, and the law didn't do a damn thing about it.
Well, since you know the Arnolds really well, you know Jason and Chad, you know them for 20 years. Can you tell us what you know then about when Jason Arnold went up and shot up Alan Ajon's property in Churchill on Goshen Road? Did you hear of that?
Hey,
yeah, I heard about it.
There's an RJ in the back. I don't know if it's a RJ that's always in the chat. Is it your camera's on? Is that okay?
So then you're aware then Jason Arnold worked for Dudley Ajon's dad and uncle. Because see, everyone says there's no connection between Dudley Ajon and that family and the Arnolds, but there's a connection, right? Because
I couldn't say. I just know of the incident, but I don't know what it was over.
Okay.
I think it was over Jason's son. I'm not sure.
Well, the newspaper said that it was because Jason Arnold went up there to collect his paycheck and was mad about not getting paid. And then that's what the newspaper said. Okay. And so you know Chad really well. Would you have known, like, did Chad work with Dudley Ajon at all? Do you know?
No.
Here, I'll pet you. Sit. Sit. Sit, boy. You look so fit. I'll give you attention. It's good. Gotcha. He's a good looking dog. Yeah, he's a good looking dog. I'm a pretty baby. Mm-hmm. Is he part pit? He's part lab. But not a pit? I think he's part he looks like he could be like part pit bull, part lab. Yeah. 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 Say I had a hard life. For my first 5 years of my life, I was in a cage. Oh, really? They brought me and tied him up at this next place down up on Hill where in Bone was. And the man that lived there had him tied. And they said that he was mean, shot him, and everything. What was that guy's name? Do you know? Dave Bays. Bays? Bays, like Bays Mountain? D-A-Y. David Bays. What? Huh? He had shot him and everything, and he was living in the woods. And he would sneak in up here every once in a while and just started feeding him and trying to get him to come in. And Fred finally got indoors to get close enough to him a little bit. Next thing you know, he took over Fred. It's
She's saying that her and Fred came up with this, like, you know, great plan and crushed all these bones and set them out over, you know, that property.
Tell her I said she's a liar and she's stupid.
She probably did all by herself.
I was there when Fred found the bones.
I bet Jody Sue's the one who put him out there. She probably is the one who did that.
Probably.
They could have been a number of people up there. David Bass and them, they killed stuff all the time. That's who lived there on that property at one time.
Right, David Bays, right?
I mean, it wasn't nothing. That's who we had that got that horse off of that somebody shot up in the holler. The poor thing was laying over a bank. It'd been hanging there for 3 or 4 days.
Oh my God.
Didn't have no hair on its back. Its bottom jaw was broke. Its back leg was broke, or the bottom part of its leg was broke. It's shoot, I forget what it's called.
Oh my God.
And I mean, you could stick your finger in that poor horse's back where it had wallowed all the hair off of its back.
Aww.
And had sores on it from rain rot. It was so thin that its backbones was stuck up.
Whose horse was that, Laura?
David Bass.
That is so sad.
And its bottom jaw was broke. It had a back leg broke and its front leg was broke. But Fred brought this horse back to, it could pull a wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It could do anything. This horse would literally meet people at the bottom of the holler, because we lived further up the holler than where we lived. And he would get people to go to the grocery store for us, and they would meet us with the horse. The horse, he could send the horse out and load the wagon up, and the horse would go right back in the holler, take the food up there.
That's awesome.
And he'd pull up, and he'd just pull up and stand there until you got him unloaded.
And then you would
We took him to a wagon train one time, and we taught him how to get the snaps loose on his leads in case he ever fell again or anything. Because it's steep up there in that mountain in some places. And he could get the snap loose on the lead, and he would unfasten the other horses.
So did David leave him out there just to die? Is that what happened?
Well, David at the time, he was trying to overcome being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And he was gone and had the horse tied up. And he was in the hospital for his liver was messing with him real bad and he was bleeding. And when he came up there, we came up there to shoe a horse for him one day, and he told Fred that colt had got down over the bank and wanted to know if Fred would go put him down. And Fred told him, he said, if I can get him up and get him out of here, get him in a trailer, can I have him for the girls? And David told him, yeah.
Glenview. You know what? I never seen anything on the junkyard burning, the dates or anything. Can you, maybe pass me along somehow some content on the junkyard burning so I can catch up on that? Hey, Karen, how are you? I seen it was your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you had a good one, a couple days ago. I wish someone would ask Lora about that. Yeah. Does anybody local in my chat, do you know anything about the junkyard burning down? Okay, let me put it back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fred slopped that horse for the first 2 years like you slop pigs. And he'd put him a bucket up on the fence post, and that horse would take and hit that fence post every time and knock the feed down. down in the corner of the bucket so he could get to it. He was smart, very smart.
And somebody shot and killed him?
Yep.
Oh man, I bet you guys were devastated. Especially Fred.
We
huh?
looked for him for 3 days.
Who
And
did that?
we
Oh,
went.
wait, you say you didn't want to say, never mind.
And then they told us, the one that shot it, told us that, I bet you find it with a bullet in its head.
Oh my God. Oh, I know who it was. Don't I? I know who it was, don't I?
I think so.
Yeah, I know who it is. It's the one that's been tormenting Fred for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of you guys, really. Okay. Anyways, I don't want to say if you're not going to say. So, what was the other thing there was something else I was just.
This man over here, I had a little mule, and this man over here, every time I hang tied up here, I tie him out and stuff, and he'd take and cut him loose no matter what I put on him. He even under lock and chain, he'd cut him loose.
What the heck?
And, I mean, he told me everything, man. He can't bring it. But I feel like he has threatened me that he would see that I wasn't in his car in the morning, so no matter how extended he had to go, you know.
Wow.
I mean, that came out of his own mouth.
Wow, something happened to
He
you.
saw all the property all around me now. I mean, I own, well, Mom owns 5 acres, this right here, just like what you see in this small.
Yeah.
But he owns all the way around it.
Who do you think shot the horse? What horse? What horse are they talking about, Laura? You know
My
something
horse.
Yeah,
Who do I think shot it? James Light had somebody do it.
James Light. What's his? Is he related to Frank Light?
I think they was brothers. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know if I know or have heard of James Light. I don't think. Oh, by the way. Oh, by the way.
He was in prison when this happened.
Okay. Who was?
James was in prison when all it was happened with Summer.
Oh, okay. No, but by the way.
All right. Hold on. 1 sec. I'm trying to stop this. I was fucking hitting the joint and I'm coughing. So this is why I have some questions for Fred. I started with all of the recent drug busts. The drug bust that happened the year that Dawn and Candace moved to Ben Hill Road. And I want you guys to keep in mind that Dawn already knew these people because he had lived there prior many times for many years. Okay, with his ex-wife, with his children when they were younger. I want you to remember his children are in their 30s now. I wish Lora or Fred Hill would be honest about the car information. Listen, guys, I don't want to attack Fred. Because if there's a chance that he is telling some truths, we got to get this guy to quit fabricating the ridiculousness. You know what I mean? And I think it's important. He said the next night, David Bays ran from the roadblock. I didn't get too deep into it with him yesterday because I was trying to end my live. He always seems to come in right at the end of my damn live. You know? And I just think that this could lead to something. I feel like there was a setup for somebody to be set up to go the fuck down, and it went awry because YouTube got extremely involved, and a lot of local creators came here to stop that. That's just a feeling I have. It's an opinion. I'm speculating. It doesn't mean that it's truth. It's just a lane. And my dog and cat just are fighting in the kitchen because I locked the dog out. So if you heard that, I'm sorry. I found this option for noise cancellation on my mic. I hope I have it on and it worked. This is why weed needs to be legal in every state and cut down on other drugs. Yeah, well, here's the thing. They have legalized weed in a lot of states. And since then, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be, I hope you're right. If that happens, I agree that could happen. But since they've started to legalize weed, the other drugs have become rampant. It's my opinion that no matter what they legalize, what they don't legalize, the next best thing is always going to be more rampant than weed because people want to do illegal things. You have people out there that get a kick out of shit like that. You know, it's not legal in my state, but it is medically, and it's about to be. Like, they're about to legalize it, and I can't wait. I want to open a cannabis store. I'm kidding. I probably would never have the money to do that, but that would be cool as shit, dude. I'd make it a lounge. You know? And I found some stuff about that, too. So I do have some stuff I'll pull out, and I'll make my live a little longer tomorrow. I thought Fred would come in and we'd talk. I don't want to ask too many questions because I don't want assumptions. I just want to hear what locals, if any other locals in the area want to give any information or talk about what they think without being too snitchy, I guess. I don't fucking know. I hate doing this, but Summer's important, man. She's a child. And if this could connect, I think it's important that people look at it, at least some of it, in a way we can, going by names that are out there publicly. You know, I'm not going to go digging up no damn new names. I'll tell you that right now. Not no more. I'm done with that shit. But however, the ones Fred have spoken about and the ones we can find where there's publications, we can go over. But people don't need to be fucking worried about me looking at their Facebooks and shit no more. I'm done. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of fighting with people. I still believe these motherfuckers set me up. I think I've proved it in the last few weeks. I still think Trixie has something to do with it. However, Squall, all of them, I'm going to get the Scott. We are going to talk about these people later on at a later date. But it's not going to be like I'm not sitting here attacking them right now. I'm just going to let shit chill for a little bit. I truly don't believe that this lawyer is going to file a law. Will continue on. I'm still going to answer the claim just in case. And so that it's in court 100%. I'm still going to answer to it and make sure everything's legal. But if I get a court date, I'm going and getting an attorney. So I'm fighting it. There's not going to be a settlement. I texted the attorney this morning or last night, maybe. And I told him, I said, watch my last live. I told him I wasn't going to talk about him like he thought. His poor wife. Okay. And I sent a laughy face. He did not respond to me. But that's where I'm at with that. It is what it is. I'm going to continue on. This isn't attacks. This is just other stuff. I don't want to look into people's fucking lives no more. Crystal, Fred will talk to you. He's just busy. I know, Rhonda. He came into my chat a couple times. I know he will. I just was prepared for him to come in tonight, and I shouldn't have been because I was supposed to go live last night, and he said he would come in, but I fell asleep watching some Hot Wheels thing on YouTube on my TV with my grandson. It was grand, let me tell you. I slept till like 4:30 a.m. Then I woke up, texted my husband because I had to pee and realized we didn't have toilet paper. So I told him, bring home some toilet paper. And then I don't know what happened. I got on here, watched a couple videos. My grandson looked comfortable in my bed. I laid back down and I was out till like noon. I don't know. It's been a relaxing day. I appreciate it. The air condition feels good. So I didn't do much today. So, and I don't know what's going on with Fred, but I think it's like important to continue to look at what's going on in East Tennessee, like around the areas. Because another thing I wanted to point out when we were listening at the beginning was, we hear Dawn say, was it on Prayer Gardens? Lora said, Dawn said, I went to Knoxville to get drugs, to bring back the Fred, to set them up, blah, 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 whatever. But there's another part on Prayer Garden, and I'll have to dig that, probably not for tomorrow, but for another night, where Lora says that Dawn had the police following him in Knoxville, going from dealer to dealer's house. So is it possible Dawn took money and was out there being an informant, trying to get information about his daughter because he knows something? I just think it's important. I'm going to pull that up. We'll listen to both of those. I'll do that not tomorrow because that's a lot of work. But the next day, maybe. Just remind me, guys. You guys got to come in my comment section and remind me. I smoke too much weed. My brain cells are frizzled. All right, but I've been on almost 2 hours. I think I got my point across tonight, but was unable to finish. And yes, Rita. Summer. I think I'm going to get off of here and go cruise. Oh, wait. Before I go, let me do something. I keep trying. She was live. Damn, it went right to Green Eyes. Oh, she's live. Hold on.
He talks about wanting you to get him some handcuffs.
Watch. She never answers me, but she let me in her chat now. I think it's hysterical. Hey, Jody. I am live. My chat and I just... swinging by to say hello. Hope all is well tonight. Watch.
Actually wanting Ernie to get him handcuffs. Ernie's,
Let's go live. Oh, come on. My cache needs cleaned.
what was the problem? Did he tell you about why he needed handcuffs? Yes, he described not being able to tie Mr. King up. He said that he unsuccessfully tried zip ties. He said he broke.
Here, we'll just take the volume off and watch for a minute. Because I don't know what she's watching. She's straight staring at it, though. Where was it at, Rita? I'll look. Look, she sees it. She ain't going to say anything. Look. She just ignores me. It's funny. But hey, at least I'm allowed in her chat now, right? I wish she would check her messages. I told her I sent her something yesterday. She hasn't checked it. She needs to. It's important. But whatever. All right, guys. I'm going to end this. Good night, Jody Sue. I'll come over and swing by and watch you for a little bit. Peace and love to you all. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what time on. Oh, wait. She ain't saying nothing. All right. I'm going. Peace and love. See you all tomorrow night. Bye.